Hello and welcome to another list review on Glory of Golden State Gaming. You know, we invite a bunch of people to do these list reviews and everyone says yes. And then we get to the time of the list review and it's just me and Josh hanging out.
Only the faithful.
So for now, it's just me and Josh doing this quick little list review. We should have some other people jumping in periodically, coming along. This isn't going to be too long because I think there's only 14 players, something like that. So
sounds right.
We're just gonna have some fun with it. Josh, welcome to the list review. How are you doing this evening?
Why, thank you, good sir. I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to 2 weekends in a row of gaming, actually. So
2 weekends.
got this tournament, and we got the one up in Portland.
You're a madman.
Yeah, world traveler. Dragons love to travel, if you know what I'm saying.
So this is the SoCal Joust. This has been running. I don't know the information. We invited someone on who knows this information, and they couldn't make it, unfortunately. What number in a row is this SoCal Joust been running?
Numero 9.
This is number 9.
Wait, is it 9? Yeah. It says IV, so I guess that's 4. No, that can't be right.
IV is 4. It might be 4. Yeah. I don't know.
4.
It's been running a couple years. I've been to, I think, 1 or 2 of them. It's always a good crowd down there. The LA guys are great. Unfortunately, I can't make it, but Josh will be there. And it's always a good time there. It's at a gaming store, the same gaming store every time.
It's a staple tournament.
It's a staple. It is the Southern California 9th Age tournament. But let's just
much like the freeways in SoCal, the is pronounced with a capital T. It's proper now.
Let's jump into the pairings here. Let's jump into the pairings. So match number 1, we have, oh, look at Mr. Josh Gurin versus Daniel Knox. Let's look at Daniel's list first. And then I'll let you ramble about your list. Let's see. Daniel's got 2 high princes here. One is a Sliver Prince with the Krennic Tower. One is a Lion Chariot Prince, kind of the usual builds. A Commander BSB with Essence of Mistral and a Flaming Standard, High Warden of the Flame. Then a big block of Spears with Banner of Rima. 10 Lancers with Discipline, some Reavers, a big block of Flame Wardens, a small block of Lion Guard, Frost Phoenix with Warden's Bond, and an Initiative of the Fiery Heart, and 5 Grey Watchers.
Looking at this list initially, I wasn't too worried. And then I actually started digging into the list a little bit, and now I'm worried.
That's how
this list is not. It's not messing around.
That's how high elves work. It's like, oh, it's just elves. I can kill them, and then you get into them and they tear you apart.
The Lion's Guard are not to be trifled with. The Flame Wardens are hardy. Depending on where he puts the characters, the Citizen Spears could even be worthwhile. You know what I mean? The Frost Phoenix is there to just make you not as strong as you think you were, and the Grey Watchers are there to make it even worse. Like,
now, remind me, the Banner of Becalming is the one that steals your Veil tokens, and then the Navigator's Banner.
Navigator's Banner is,
I think that's
the other one.
That
is distracting.
Yeah, distracting.
The first round of combat. So it's just it's a really well put together list.
Yeah, that Flame Warden block. I think he's gonna put the Sliver Prince into the Flame Warden block. I feel like that's where he goes.
I saw that they get Bodyguard if the High Prince on foot adds the generals in there, but I doubt he'd risk the Krennic Tower guy.
No. That
go get you unit.
Those 14 Lion Guard are there to go. Like, if there's something that they can multi-wound into, it's to go hunt whatever that is down.
But the problem is they're there to do that, and the Lion Chariot's there to do that because they're multi-wound as well as the crew. Like,
sometimes,
you know.
Sometimes you need 2 instances of killing multi-wounding stuff.
Sometimes more is better. So it's interesting. Daniel and I are actually, we don't know each other that well, but we got paired up as partners for the Portland tournament, and we trade lists in round 4. And I was like, how am I going to use his list? Well, apparently now I'll find out firsthand how to use his list because he's going to whomp me with it.
Okay, well, Josh, You make a good point. Let's get into your list. Oh, someone has joined the chat from his car. Mr. Skaven and AZ himself. Welcome.
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Good. We are into just the first round matchup. We went through Daniel's list, and we were just going into Josh's list. And Josh,
Nice.
Josh, do your thing. Tell me about your list.
So my list is a little similar to what I took to Columbus.
And the tournament before that, 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 and the tournament before that.
Interestingly enough,
He likes what he likes. Don't make fun of him.
I dropped the power characters and went for a little itty bitty skinny barbarian chief instead. And so 2 adept mages on alchemy and evo, a barbarian chief with a 1-up.
And that is an annoying character.
Shieldbreaker.
On the Shadow Chaser with Thrice Forged with Shieldbreaker. That is super annoying. Oh, I hate that model.
It's utilitarian. Henry swears by it. I was like, all right, I'll try it. And I'm like, actually, that's not bad. So, got the warrior block, greed warriors. Also have the chosen on foot as greed. Those are 2, again, utility units that can do almost anything well if they're in the right position at the right time. I got 9 fallen as either mini fighter chaff clearers or chaff themselves. 2 units of warrior knights, one of which has the gluttony to help them be a little bit more durable after the first round, and a unit of chosen knights with 2 flayer chaff.
So you have 2 blocks of warrior knights and 1 chosen knight. 2 of them have gluttony.
The chosen knights and the larger block of warrior knights have gluttony.
Yeah.
The others are just plain. The other warrior knights are just lance.
That's.
You had no points, right?
Say it again.
You ran out of points on that other unit, or you would put it on there too?
Yeah.
I'm trying to stretch the points to make them effective. I don't think that unit necessarily needs it. They're kind of the unit that comes to the rescue of the first unit. If the first unit can't get it done.
Okay.
And you're running Evo Alchemy, both adepts. Interesting.
Yep. I gave the Alchemy Mage the Book of Arcane Mastery, and I gave the Evo Mage the Rod of Battle and the Heirloom. So 7 spells-ish. I think it's good. I'm trying not to rely on power characters. So not to counter Chris's earlier point, but instead of bringing an Ancestor and all the fighty chop in the world, I'm trying to let the rank and file do the job instead and improve my tactical game a little bit.
Interesting. Before we get into this matchup, Josh, you gotta do me a favor. You can do this on pen and paper, or you can do it on your computer. I need you to mark down what each of us chooses to win, because I did that for the last video, and we compared results, and I think it was fruitful. So if you do me a favor, Josh, just record what lists we choose will win round 1.
Roger that.
So you've got a lot of hammer here, a lot of hammer in your list. Can you go through this Highborn Elf list? I don't know.
One at a time, sure. You know what I mean? But if he gets combo charges off on me and uses I chose this list because it was more mobile than just the foot, but it's still got a lot of foot. It's like half and half.
Yeah.
If he
it's not like you have an option to go all. You can't go all mobile with warriors. I mean, unless you choose barbarian horseman for core. So you're gonna always have some foot.
So
I think the warriors and the chosen on foot can handle almost anything that comes their way, as long as they get help. But if there's no help to be had and he gets a good combo charge off, they'll go down. So
what in your
it's
list?
really a matter of how he's.
What in your list are the Lion Guard and the Lion character multi-wounding? Is it just the
chosen knights?
Just the chosen knights. Okay.
So just my best unit. You know? And he has 2 of them. So no matter where I put my best unit, if he puts 1 on each side of the board, hey, you're multi-wounding.
You know, I honestly think this is kind of a close game, or at least list-wise.
Really, the only thing I have going for me is Aaron. I've fought a similar list to this in Aaron so many times. Like
Yeah.
I feel like, you know what I mean? It's just that little. My game with Aaron just gave me nightmares. You know, A, it took 6.5 hours, and B, he beat me. So at that point, I'm like, I need something faster, and that's when the Chosen Knights came in, and that's when the extra Warrior Knights came in, and I needed range and not just relying on foot troops. So,
And
We'll
as
see.
far
The
as
Highborn guy has the spear, right?
yeah, he has
Of course.
the sliver.
Yeah.
He's got the
Okay.
Prince on
I
foot
have to
with the
choose
sliver,
Highborn.
and he has a High Prince Lion Guard chariot.
And a chariot. Yeah. That means that I think Josh has to lose. Not what I want to choose, but I think the spear is problematic for warriors in general. For myself, when I looked at this matchup, I'm like, ew, the spear, what do I do with it? And while you can snipe him occasionally and all that you're not going to be able to do enough to him, I don't think, to kill him before he's able to do a lot of damage if you engage that unit hand to hand, because he's going to be smack dab in the middle of that Flame Warden unit, and you're going to go, oh, I can't engage this thing in the middle of the board that all my foot troops are walking towards.
Yeah.
What to do now?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
agree with that.
I'm very partial. I can kill the Dwarf King.
You
Statistically
can, but
possible.
should you? Yeah,
Okay,
right.
okay.
Math says I can.
Final choices. Chris says Daniel's gonna win. I think I
I'm
have
biased
to
to
agree. I
Daniel.
don't think I. No, you know what I'm saying. Josh, you can do this. Josh, you can win.
If I win, I got to tip my hat to Aaron in the process.
All right, and I'm assuming you're voting for
Remind me-
yourself, Josh.
My spells never change.
Remind me what's the first objective?
Oh
It
yeah.
is marching columns and breakthrough, I think, where characters count as an extra breakthrough pip.
Okay.
Right.
And
So
so,
that sliver guy walking across the board is 2 instead of 1.
yeah, but so's my, move 300 barbarian chief, but details.
Yeah. The Barb
Detail.
Chief. Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
doesn't have a lot of shooting, so that is kind of a possibility.
Sure.
All right. Let's move on. 2 votes for Josh. Let's see. We got Garrett versus Zach Brooks. I'm not familiar with Zach, but I know Garrett. Garrett's a great player, and he is running his Ogre Cons, which he has done very well with. He is running a Shaman Master on Thaumaturgy, a Shaman Adept on Pyro, a Great Con with Kakadai's Legacy and Liger's Tongue, kind of a standard build. A Con BSB with Karkadon's Resilience, Brace of Pistols, Viper's Curse. Again, very common build. 8 Bruisers, 8 Tribesmen, 2 Tigers, 2 Thunder Cannons, 2 Scratapults, 2 times 4 Bombardiers. This is the net Ogre gunline list.
I always feel like if
Garrett
you're
shall
going
be-
pistols. Good.
Garrett shall now forever be known as Pablo Jr.
Yeah.
This is the Pablo list.
This
It's
is
a
the
minus
Pavlovian
the
response.
Pyro, minus a Pyro Master.
yeah. He's running the
Pub-
Thom Master and then a Pyro Adept, and then I think also there's usually the Merc Vets with the pistols in this list. That's not in here. But still, double cannon, double Scratapult, and 2 times 4 Bombardiers is plenty of shooting.
Double E, double R, double E.
Right.
I was very proud of a Pavlovian response. I thought that was worthwhile.
Oh, that's good.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So this is straight gun line, which is it does very well. This list just does very well, especially when he has 2 big blocks of bruisers and tribesmen sitting in there with his characters. Let's look at what Zach brought. He's running OnG. So this is the new OnG book. So it's gonna be a little bit. He's got 2 Iron Orc Loners, 1 on a Wyvern, 1 on a Grunter, which is the pig. He's got 2 Orc Shamans, one's the General, who's the tribe leader, as an Adept on Shamanism. The other one is on a Chariot Apprentice on Thaumaturgy, with a Book of Arcane Mastery. 48 Feral Orcs with Banner of Speed. 2x6 veteran orc marauders, some goblin reavers, the 2 iron orc chariots with the champion unit, which is an interesting unit, 25 veteran orcs with paired weapons and the BSB, and then triple giant, 1 beloved mascot and 2 giant clubs.
So Zach's actually part of our crew up here in Sacramento, and I've seen this list a few times, and he's really gone out of his way to thematically like represent it. It's got like this swine or pig, you know, grunter like theme. It's really cool. Even the wyvern is like a when pigs fly kind of model. So it's awesome.
Interesting.
He modeled everything pretty like accurately. Like you can tell which of the 3 giants has the giant club and which is the mascot. Like it's, you know, it's visually appealing and fairly accurate. So he's a good player. I think Zach has a lot of tools in this army to get it done.
This is interesting because there's a lot of cannon magnets here, but he has so many cannon magnets that like it's not that bad because even though there's 2 cannons, he has 2 Iron Orc Loners, the Iron Orc Chariots, and 3 Giants for these cannons to shoot at. 1 or 2 or 3 of these single models are going to make it in eventually.
And then it's dying time.
But then whatever's left, can you take out 2 blocks of bruisers or a block of bruisers and a block of tribesmen?
I believe you can take out 1. I don't know if you can take out 2 simultaneously. And what's with the orc loners, man? Orcs need love too. Desperado. Sorry.
Oh man, the one
Yeah.
orc warlord loner on the wyvern with Death Cheater and Omen of the Apocalypse. That guy's
Definitely
pretty
the
brilliant.
apocalypse.
That guy can get it done.
That guy can really get it done. That's cannon magnet number 1 for sure.
One kind of misfires, the other gets saved on the fortitude. Like, man.
Yeah, it comes down to are his artillery pieces going to hit, or are they going to misfire and go away for the at the beginning of the game? With every gun line list, it comes down to that. But
Yeah.
let's say they roll average. I think the orcs have a chance here. I think the orcs have a real chance. What do you think, Josh?
I am a fan of an army that can absorb some shooting and still pack a punch. I don't think the ogre gun line is without merit. I think it's an effective list. I don't know Garrett well, so I've met him.
He's
I
a
know who
very
he
good
is,
player.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, Zach has his work cut out for him, but at the risk of impeding my average, I'm gonna vote for Zach.
That's 2 votes for Zach. Chris, are you there?
I am here.
Do you have a vote on these 2 lists?
This is one where the evil empire wins. Unfortunately, I think that while there's a lot of things that will get there, the problem is I think Garrett is smart enough of a player and good enough of a player that he's going to know which one of those things he doesn't want to get there,
Yeah.
and the things that get there will not be enough to overcome the fact that the things that aren't there. So I will vote for Ogre Gods in this case.
I can't disagree with that. Garrett is an awesome player. He scores very highly in most tournaments he's in. So, but hell, come on. It's the new ONG book. I'm voting for the ONG. Okay. Moving
Garrett's taking the whole tournament down.
moving on to match 3, we have Ben Wilson versus Chris Hines. Oh boy. Let's see what Ben's bringing first here. He's on the Ogre Cons, Great Con General, Touch of Greatness, Rod of Battle, Destiny's Call, Con BSB, Ghostly Guard, Viper's Curse, Cult Leader, Shaman Adept on Pyromancy, Shaman Apprentice on Shamanism, 10 Bruisers with the Pen at the Great Crass Sky. That's a big block. 7 tribesmen with paired weapons, 6 merc vets with the brace of ogre pistols. This is where the BSB is going, of course. Another block of merc vets, 8 of them this time, with halberd, swift stride, magic resistance, banner of speed. So these guys are coming at you with swift stride and banner of speed. Then 3 Tusker Cav with paired weapons, and then 2 Tigers.
I both like and dislike the 3 Tusker Cav. I think it's enough to get a lot of things done. I don't think it's quite enough to get all things done. I'd rather see 4. But I know it's a pretty massive point investment, and he's got a ton of points sunk into the bruisers and the mercs.
Yeah.
I do like the double mercs though.
The double
and
mercs.
He's got 2 Aether icons on the BSB. So
yeah.
In the dictionary under redundant, it says see redundant.
You know, that merc vet with the poison pistols and the Viper's Curse on the BSB, that can really pump out some shooting. That can really whittle down units much faster than you think.
And they're going to hang back too. They're going to let the other merc vets with chop and banner speed roll out in front.
It's an interesting list. I like the 3 Tusker Cav at 405. I think there's plenty of value there.
I do too. I just, would rather see 5 of them. I think with this list, 3 works just fine. It's a zoning threat. It's got enough beef that you can't take it lightly. It'll keep the flanks from getting unwieldy. And he's got, 4 blocks that are otherwise inclined to meet you head on.
Yeah. And he's basically got 2 adepts. He's got the Pyromancy adept and then the apprentice with a book on shamanism. And the magical heirloom. So he's got the double toughness buff with Awaken the Beast and the hereditary. And then a bunch of pyromancy to throw at you. It's an interesting list.
That means he's got 3 then, right? Because he's got the pyro one, he's got Umi, and he's got shamanism.
Yeah, he's got the cloak of ash or whatever, the cloak of cinders. That's a good point. So it's triple toughness defense. That's interesting. That's a good combo. I like this list. I think it's fantastic. Let's see. Chris, would you like to go through your list? Are you in a comfortable spot now? Can you sit down and talk about your list for a second?
I mean, I've been sitting the whole time. We're good.
Oh my gosh, it's Warriors the Dark Gods. I don't see any rats, which is crazy. Okay, go ahead.
I'm bringing an Ancestor with Super Decks because, yes, why not? I brought the Adept with Evocation with the Book of Ancient Mastery. I brought the Adept of Alchemy with the Brawl of Battle. I brought 24 Warriors, Sword and Board for an Anvil. I brought 10 Warriors with Halberds for the 24 Warriors have Pride and full command, so they've got minimized discipline. Mm-hmm. The 10 guys with Halberds are anti-chaff / painful chaff / chaff clears / subjective clears, all that. Then I got a big Berk Feldrax with halberds because who doesn't like big lizards with halberds? I've got 2 chariots. I've got 2 Big Brother giants, and I've got 2 sets of flares, plus 2 chariots.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the whole list.
Yeah, it's very a warrior list. It's you gave both the giants tribal war spears. I guess you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Are you thinking of running those guys in the warrior units? Can you, or does that have to be a barb unit?
No, they're exclusive to barbarians.
Ah,
has to be a barbarian.
Never mind. So they're just running around with spears.
They're just there to go stompy on things.
Yeah, it ups them to strength 6, and it lets them deal with something bigger than they are if they get into trouble with something bigger than they are.
The war spears do multiple wounds, right?
Towering, yes.
Yeah, it gets towering. Interesting. This is good. This is a single model list. I think it's got the Ancestor, double giant, double warrior chariot. The
only thing that gets stuck in this entire list has Banner of the Relentless Company. Like, this list does whatever the hell it wants.
The question is,
like seriously, like they're all single models basically.
The question is, can this
Players
go
count.
toe to toe with these ogres, like big block ogres?
We're both agility 3 on our big units, and I outcharge him even with Swift Stride and movement 7 on his mercs, because I'm movement 8 and Swift Stride with Feldrax. So I go first.
Yeah, I think the scary thing for him are the Feldrakes for sure.
Right. And the
He can
Ancestor
only shoot the
agility
Feldrax
5.
if they're not in combat, right? So I'm thinking
Right.
he wants to whittle those Feldrax down with a passion, and he can kind of.
Well, he's also got to deal with the 2 giants and the Ancestor. Because I think the Ancestor would probably want to be his priority, because at offensive 9 and 7 strength 7, I don't care how many offensive or toughness buff you stack on yourself. I have the strength to at least wound you on 4s, as long as you don't get double -1 to wound off.
For sure, that Ancestor is a major issue, but I mean, Great Con with paired weapons and Touch of Greatness, and another con, like it's the Ancestor is going to take some wounds. I think it'll really hurt him, but I think all in all, you don't want the Ancestor in alone. I honestly think the Feldrax are more of a threat for him in terms of his blocks.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Maybe.
But
That's possible.
you definitely have the mobility advantage, Chris. You're like getting. I don't think you want to go into any of these blocks without flanking it also.
I can go in without flanking it, but I want like 3 things in the front.
Yeah. You have to quadruple, but he's not going to give that to you.
I don't know. I suspect he will give that to him. I don't think he's going to have a choice.
Well, he's got the 2 tigers. He's got the 2
What else is he
tigers.
gonna do?
He's got the 2 tigers.
Yes.
Yeah. I hate myself. I truly, to my core of my being, hate myself for saying this. But I think Chris Hines is going to win this. Ben,
I know
please prove me wrong, Ben. Prove me wrong.
I will say this much, that I would probably vote against myself if he had Kadai's Legacy, if he had the Kadai sword,
Yeah.
but he doesn't, and that's the big mess that I think he has.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be pleasant. But Chris, I think you can pull this out.
I think I can as well. I don't think I get a big win out of it, but I think that I
Yeah.
can do enough to cause him issues, especially when I'm not going to let him get his character bus across the board without taking a quad charge or whatever I want to give him.
Yeah.
While he can't really stop the Ancestor from walking across the board if I don't want, unless he's dedicating all the shooting to the Ancestor, which he won't do, to your point.
Yeah, I mean, he might. I mean, I would be scared of putting that Ancestor in front of his Ogre Pistol poison block.
Agreed. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Entirely agree.
Ooh,
You
I
can't
But
shoot
anything
think
in
Ben's-
combat-
Ben's got some answers, but I think Chris has the slight advantage. Yeah.
I love that it's a 4-block ogre unit, and we're worried about shooting. It's very backwards.
Okay.
Good times.
Moving on. Pairings. We are on to match 4. This is Josh Land versus Rick. Good old Rick. Okay. Josh, I'm unfamiliar with you, Josh, and you're running some ONG, so that's exciting. You're running an Orc Warlord General on a Wyvern.
Well, it is, after all, the SoCal Ogres tournament, right? Like that's what we're doing.
Basically. On the big Wyvern, Basalt Infusion, Omen of the Apocalypse, Talisman of Shielding. I think it's a fairly decent model. He's got a Orc Shaman on a Wyvern, Adept on Pyromancy, Destiny's Call. Another Orc Shaman Adept on Shamanism with the book, Rod of Battle on foot. Goblin Demagogue on a Huntsman Spider, Attack Gnasher, Ghostly Guard, Dragonfire Gem. A huge block of Feral Orcs with the Stalker Standard, 25 Feral Orcs with the Banner of Discipline, 10 veteran Orc Marauders with Banner of Discipline, 30 Iron Orcs with Banner of Speed and the BSB Aether Icon, 2x1 Iron Orc Chariots, a Splatter, a Skewer, and 2 Wrecking Teams.
And 4,500 points on the dot, meaning the list may be perfect.
This is a fun list.
I love the Talisman of Shielding on the Wyvern.
Why are you calling it a Wyvern? It's a Wyvern.
The Wyvern, whatever. Why not? Sorry. Hey, Vern! No. It's just a good build. I like the 3 up against Flaming and the 5 up otherwise, and
yeah,
and get some.
I think that general model is pretty fun. Get him in the right spot, and he can do some some damage. The 50 Feral Orcs is interesting, and the 30 Iron Orcs is just a pain in the butt.
Right.
Oh, double Wyvern.
Yeah.
Look at that. I just realized. Nice. Destiny's Call. I love this list.
The way you say Wyvern, it sounds like you're saying like Laverne, like Laverne and Shirley, and it's throwing me off.
I'm gonna start
I was
calling her
waiting
Shirley.
for that.
I think it's better. Do they pray at a temple? Because
We'll rejoin, boys. I'll be right back.
Boy. Okay. Double Wrecking Team is always, like something you can't predict. That's random movers running around.
what does a
causing
Wrecking
problems.
Team do? I don't know anything about that.
Wrecking Team is the big random mover. The old big squig
Okay.
random mover.
Okay.
I think this is a solid list.
Got a bunch of blocks. It can come get you. It's got chariots for reach out and touch you. It's got a bunch of shooting for if you decide to hang back. A bunch of flying stuff that can mess up your flanks. Like I don't mind it.
And this Goblin Demagogue character on the Huntsman Spider with the Attack Gnasher. That's much like your Barb Chief on the Shadow Chaser. He's gonna be super annoying, and when you charge him into the right soft spot of an army, he can really make a difference.
And you're focusing on him instead of the 2 gigantic wyverns that are flying around. Like, you can do that. I think he goes wherever he wants unmolested because there's better fish to fry.
Yeah.
And then he's a real problem. Yeah, I like it.
I like this list. I like this list a lot. Okay, let's move on to our good friend Rick. He still has not returned to the Soaring Ancients, but he's still on the Infernal Dwarves. Okay, we got the general.
The strength of the Infernal Dwarves is flaming, and that other list has all the flaming defense in the universe. So
True. Overlord on a Great Bull of Shamut, with 2 badass weapons and the Ring of Desiccation. He's got the Vizier on the Seat of Authority, BSB, Kingslayer, Mask of Ages. He's got a Prophet on Alchemy with the book, Adept with the book, Lightning Vambraces. So you're getting 4 spells out of that guy. A Lamasu, which is always fun. 15 Settle Guard with Flintlock Axes, 3 blocks of Vassal Levies, the first with Spear and Shield, 39 strong, and then 2 20 strong with paired weapons and bows. And he has the Standard Bearer upgrade, their Master's Banner. I don't know what that does. He's got
first response of the Chaos Dwarves to any offense is Lamasu.
22 Immortals with Infernal Weapons, Flaming Banner. Rocket Battery, always fun. 6 Torok Enforcers with paired weapons, and a Kadim Titan Walking Earthquake. Straight on the dot, 4,500 points.
Again, could be a perfect list. I like the fact that you've got the Kadim and the Toroks, because you combine that with a little shooting, a little blockiness.
Quick little note, Rick is in the chat, and he points out that the Master's Banner is Battle Focus and Reroll Charge. And that's on his 40 block of Vassal Levies.
With Spear.
Yeah.
Gonna be a few attacks coming out of that unit.
Yeah, that unit just punts on a ton of attacks.
Can't really hear you very well, Chris.
Oh, sorry.
Your volume is down.
Is this any better? Shall I be like this?
That's much better. Interesting list. Not a lot of shooting. The only thing is really the rocket batteries and a bunch of bows. And some flintlock axes too.
A little bit shooting, yeah.
Interesting list. I don't really.
I mean,
those rocket batteries can really tear down these Wyvern and Shirleys up here. Oh yes, I just pulled off a Josh pun, and it makes me so happy.
I appreciate every bit of that. Makes me feel like I'm watching 70s television.
I think that's a little scary thing. I feel like these two lists are like not going to go at each other. They're both like blocky, kind of strong combat lists, but they both have a decent amount of shooting. Or ONG, maybe not a decent amount. They just have the three artillery pieces.
But it's the same with the Infernal Dwarves. Like, it has shooting and it's a decent amount, but it's not like overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're both designed as all-comers lists. The Tarek Enforcers and the Kadim can go out and get you if you have to be go out and gotten, or he can play KG. The Orc and Goblin list is kind of the same modality. He's got the Iron Orc Chariots, but he also has some blocks. Like, it's a surprisingly interesting match. And,
yeah, just the problem.
I don't know. I'm excited.
I think
it's 4,500 versus 4,500, so it's like technically this is the match to watch.
I think I got to give it to Rick because that Overlord on the Great Bull of Shamut is just gonna walk through any of his Wyvern characters, right?
Not the Omen of the Apocalypse guy, right?
I mean, is he? I don't know.
Hardly hear you, man.
Not the Omen of the Apocalypse guy.
And why is it not Apocalypse? That's my real question. But
because they took the R out, which I find is a horribly offensive thing.
I saw that in the latest ONG book. They took the Apocalypse out of the Apocalypse.
Yep.
So dumb.
Hey man, people were getting offended. Modern day age. Can't be triggered.
Yeah. Omen of the Apocalypse. +1 attack for each friendly unit that contains one or more models with blue rivalry engaged in combat anywhere on the battlefield. So he gets +1 attack, +1 strength, and +1 AP.
For every other orc unit in combat.
So up to 3 extra attacks.
Yeah.
3 extra strength, 3 extra AP, and he's an Orc Warlord, which means he already has 4 attacks. That's 7 attacks at strength 8, AP 5. Going at agility 4.
I still, yeah. If there's a bunch of combats going on the board, don't put in the Great Bull of Shamut. But if not, go in there and just kill his warlord.
Yeah, they're the feral orcs, and depending on where the warlord is, the feral orcs are going to have problems. I will say this though: the Iron Orc Chariots for 210, those are good units. Those put out real attacks.
Yeah,
they're not.
They are good models. They're great single models. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna give it to Rick. I think he has enough going on that he can kind of force the issue a little bit and have them come to him, while he is slightly more mobile than a lot of what they have. So I think the surprise. Can't believe I'm saying this, but the dwarf list is more mobile than the orc list.
Wow.
Overall. Yeah, I'm going with Rick.
So 2 votes for Rick. Chris, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I'm going with ONG.
Wow.
Because I think that while Rick can deal with any one of the characters, I think the two wyverns flying around while being shot at with the skewer and the splatterers to keep the bull from hiding, or keep the bull out of just free reign. I think that Josh has a chance to do this, so I'm going to Josh.
Gotta admit, Josh does not mind the fact that rocket battery, I think it's flaming, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, he's either got a 3-up or a 4-up against that. He's not those those wyverns.
But still, it does
very
multi wound. You just got to slip in 1 or 2 of those and roll high in the multi wound.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Let's go to the next matchup here. Oops, pairings. Darrell Grigsby on freaking dwarves. Darrell, come on.
This is a shock.
Oh, it drives me
Darrell
nuts.
brings a competitive dwarf list. This is
Darrell,
not.
you're killing me.
Darrell,
if you're watching this, shame on you. Shame on you. Okay, against Lucian, I'm excited. Lucian is a cool dude, so I'm excited to see him playing. Let's look at Darrell's list first here. Freaking dwarves. He's got the King on the War Throne, Rune of Destruction, 2 Runes of Might, Rune of Shielding. I'm sorry, 2 Runes of Shielding. Just a Killy King. Thane on Shield Bearers, BSB, Rune of Steel, Iron, and Great Weapon. 2 Runesmiths. 1 with Rune of Denial and 3 Battle Runes. 1 with Rune of Devouring and 3 Battle Runes. So a lot of magic defense there. 2... Okay, this is an interesting core setup. 2 times 30 Greybeards with great weapons. 2 times 6 Hold Guardians. And then a 30 block of Deep Watch. Good Lord.
4,500 on the nose. And if you're wondering why he took the Rune of Steel, it's a riddle.
The Riddle of Steel. This is the blockiest of blocky dwarf lists.
If it was any more blocky, it'd be Legos.
I mean, it might work. I mean, it's going to be so tough. I don't see any hold stones. Are there any hold stones?
No.
I don't know that he needs them. I mean,
he's only stubborn with the Deep Watch, right? No. Yeah, is he Deep Watch stubborn?
Or the
Watch,
I know they're bodyguard.
Yeah, they're bodyguard.
Are the Greybeards?
No, they're
Okay.
They reroll panic and reroll panic with people within 6 inches of them.
I think this is an interesting lift, but I do not love it, Darrell. I mean, I already don't like it because it's dwarves.
By all means, fight the Dwarf King. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Let's
No,
fight
but
the
this
Dwarf
is
King.
just like
See what happens.
this is completely set up for your opponent to gang up on one unit, blow it out of the water, move on to the next unit, blow it out of the water. I don't know. Let's see what Lucian's bringing, but I'm not in love with it. KOE.
I'm just going to tell you that somewhere Darrell Grigsby is laughing his ass off at you right now.
Darrell. Killing me. Okay, a Lord General on a Hippogriff, Fortress of Faith, Divine Judgment, Prayer Etched, Sainted Valor. Another Lord on a Destrier, BSB, Tristan's Resolve, Basalt Infusion, Faith. A Damsel Master on Druidism, on a horse. 12 Feudal Knights, 48 Lowborn Levies with Spear and Shield, interesting choice. 15 Archers, 10 Knights of the Quest with a Banneret, freaking amazing. Sacred Reliquary, which I'm assuming is going the Lowborn Levies. Some Yeoman Outriders, 2 Scorpions, and a Fey Knight Chosen of the Snow Child. See, like, I mean,
go ahead.
Snow Child is an extra attack for every model on base to base.
Yeah. All right, so both of these lifts have almost no shooting. The dwarves have no shooting, and these guys just have 15 archers, right? Oh, the two scorpions. The 2 scorpions. Okay, so there's some shooting there.
It's the winds of change. I really appreciate the fact that I was getting trouble for Wyvern, and you're talking about a Destrier as a desk chair or whatever it was called.
What did I say? A Destrier? Destrier? Sorry, I'm not French. I can't say these words.
Twice on Sunday. Sainted Valor, Prayer Etched, Hippogriff. This is like the Killy Hippogriff Lord.
Yes.
And then the BSB has Tristan's Resolve, which I recall as being negative for your opponent.
Breaks your opponent's magical weapon. So
yeah, it takes out something you need.
Oh, so he could take on the king for sure. If he
I would not touch the king still unless you're putting everything in at once.
But that's the point. Like, that's the point about Darrell's list is like, there's no chaffing. He's gonna.
It doesn't need to. I mean.
But Darrell.
Yes and no.
Lucian puts everything, like the Knights of the Quest, the Fey Knight, and his Lord into one of the Hold Guardian blocks, blows it out, then just sets up for his next charge.
Oh, I would think that Darrell would have half a brain in his head, and he would have a counter charge set up for that sort of instance.
Well, that's why Lucian's got Chef. I don't know. I'm being real hard on Darrell. I'm sorry. This is me being super negative. My vote is for Lucian 100%. High five.
Lucian has one set of chaff. Really?
Well,
the five outriders.
In a pinch, the damsel's chaff piece, like level 5 mage chaff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 450 point piece of chaff, yeah. I mean, I think that the answer is just that nothing Lucian has will go through the Deep Watch, even if he puts it all into the Deep Watch. So the answer for against Darrell is the same as it always is. Kill everything except the king. Let the king and the Thane and the 2 Runic Smiths and the 30 Deep Watch go fuck off wherever they want to. Don't bother them. Kill everything else. Because if you try and engage the king, you'll eventually get ground down because something will countercharge you, even if you think you have enough to blow through, because you don't, because of that 5+ Aegis save.
Yeah. I mean, he can't triple charge the king's unit first. He has to go kill whatever's on one of its flanks. Hold Guardians or one of the Greybeard blocks, for sure.
You can chew on a flank, and you can even deploy such that you can chew on a flank. But it is breakthrough, and he has 6, block units.
Yeah,
like that's you ignore that at your peril.
I mean, to be fair, Lou has a unit of 2, and plus the unit, so 3. So it's not like Lou is really struggling against that because.
Once you get to 3, you max out. That's right.
I mean,
I forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What are you doing? So I think that if Lou can get the 48-man levies unit in the right place to block off one of the things that he doesn't want to deal with, like the Deep Watch or whatever, then he can pick on some of those other units like we're talking about and blow them out. Because the Greybeards, yeah, they're good, but they're not going to stand up to a multi-charge from some of what Lou's bringing.
Yep.
And then he's got the emergency chaff. And then he has the magic thing that everybody has, which is Druidism. But with Darrell having both super scrolls, so one just kills your magic phase and one just kills your spell.
This is going to be a incredibly low magic game. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think I can see Darrell probably winning on objective over Lou, but I think Lou gets more points.
I'm also going to give it to Darrell. But when the levy breaks, I mean, you got no place to stay. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Jesus. Okay, so two votes for Darrell and 1 vote for Lucian. Lucian, you know what you need to do. Come on now.
Right, I'm voting for. I'm hoping for Lou. Let's be clear, but head versus heart thing.
Chris is voting against himself.
All right, match 6. Our good friend Derek Wisewell versus Ryan Potter, who I'm unfamiliar with.
Wiswell?
Riding a wyvern.
Wisewell. I like Wisewell more, but that's just me.
He's wise, and he often does well.
No, it's a deep reference to my D&D campaign that I've been playing on my YouTube channel. I named a character after Derek, and I called him Wisewell, so now I called Derek Wisewell.
There you go.
He is running Empire von Sonstal.
Yeah.
All the flagellants in the world.
He's got a master on cosmology. He's got a adept on engine, arcane shield on alchemy, a prelate general with a great weapon, Dragon Staff Lucky Charm with Imperial Steel Armor. Marshal BSB Double Aether Icon Death Warrant. 50 Heavy Infantry with Halberds. Ooh! And the Flaming Standard. 20 crossbows, 16 and 15 respectively State Militia, 37 Imperial Guard with great weapons with the Household Standard, 2x9 Imperial Rangers, an Imperial Giant with the Giant Repeater, and 2x20 Flora Flagellants.
As I told him when he ran this list against me at, where were we? We were at Portland? Yeah, Portland. That was the last tournament I went to. He needs the Lightning Reflexes wagon, not the Distracting wagon. But he still has the Distracting wagon.
I agree. He either needs to have Hand Whip and Shield Imperial Guard with the Distracting wagon, or Great Weapons with the Lightning Reflexes wagon. I can't agree more with that.
He's like,
Household
Great Weapons
Standard.
get hit on 4s, but it's, I don't know, I'm not a fan. Anyways.
If you put the Marshal in the Imperial Guard, he does not seem very mellow.
Marshal gives him battle focus. So the Marshal will definitely be in the Imperial Guard. And the Imperial Giant eats knights for breakfast. So Josh, don't run into that.
Yes.
This is bad.
Not
bad
from the
time
front. That's why you bring 2 units of knights.
All right, and he's running Adept Alchemy, which is going to help with that Flaming Standard for sure, and then a Master on Cosmology, which is incredibly versatile. It's a good list. I think it's a good list. And those 24 Flagellants is really hard to get through.
What does Death Warrant do? Is that like summon Steven Seagal or something?
Say again?
Does Death Warrant summon Steven Seagal or something? Like, what does that do?
Oh, 1 up, 4 up, if I recall, something like that.
No, Death Warrant is. Someone look it up. I can't do it on my screen.
Oh no, Death Warrant's the one. No, Death Warrant's the one that gives him battle focus for shooting a hit.
That gives the unit battle focus. Yeah. If he strikes, after he strikes, yeah.
Which is why they have great weapons.
Yep. So that Imperial Guard unit is going to be hefty, and same with the Halberdiers is hefty also. So this is 2 big blocks, and a lot of support for those 2 big blocks, plus 2 big blocks of Flagellants. It's an interesting list.
He runs the General and the BSB and the IG. He had another prelate last time that was in the 50 block of heavy infantry, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else just shafts up so that you have to engage the big bricks, and the Giant can shoot you with the AP4 gun.
Yep.
And the Rangers. It's got a good amount of shooting between the crossbows, the militia, and the Rangers, plus the Cosmo Wizard and the
for sure.
Adept. It's a very versatile list. It's a very good list in the hands of a very good general. It's pretty strong. You have to have a lot to get across the table against it. Because if you're dealing with high elite stuff, he's going to shred it probably.
Yep. I agree. Ryan is bringing Sylvans. And he is a Forest Prince General. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff here. It looks like on foot. All those words, all the cloaks, Sylvan. It doesn't have a Forest Guardian. It has so this is the Forest Guard upgrade with the Hunter's Honor Spear. Interesting build. This is not a usual build. He's got a Druid Master on Druidism. He's got a Chieftain BSB with the Bow of Wiskin, a Dryad Ancient Adept on Divination and the Oaken Crown, 23 Dryads with scoring, 2 blocks of Archers, 6 Heath Raiders, 23 Forest Rangers, 2 Tree Fathers, 6 Wild Huntsmen with lances, and 2x5 Pathfinders.
The shooting army is in a shooting matchup that he doesn't want to be in.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely getting outshot. He's definitely getting outshot.
I mean, even you're going to get outshot, and then you get into combat, and you have to chew through Flagellants, and you have militia, like, and you have really large blocks that'll take a punch and still be around.
Yeah.
I just don't think he has any. He has punching, but he doesn't have punch through.
Yeah. No, it's just the size, the body. I mean, Derek's got the bodies, and this is an elite Sylvan list, which is all Sylvan lists are pretty elite lists, and it's got some shooting to pump out some shooting, but it's just not going to blow through either one of those two big blocks.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Mr. Wisewell.
Yeah, I think I have to do the same. I'm sorry, Ryan. I mean, prove us wrong. Like, focus your shots onto maybe one of the blocks. Maybe the heavy infantry, and whittle them down, and then triple charge the Imperial Guard block or something. But I don't know what the answer is, but
hey, he's got a Dryad Ancient. They've got like 7 strength 7 attacks, weapon skill 9. Oh, that's a Beldrak Ancestors.
The answer is that Ryan's best plan is probably to sit back and heal his stuff up to get shot, because I don't think he has any way to get across the table with any real.
Yeah. My only thought is he gets those tree fathers in the right spots and just starts stomping on guys, but yeah.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Is that
3 votes for Derek. We are on to our last matchup. Mr. Johnny Milano versus Cary Hegna. This is a classic NorCal versus SoCal matchup. Let's see what Johnny's bringing. Another Ogrecons list. Like, man, come on, Southern California. Like, we get it. You like Ogrecons. Yeah. Like, you don't have to like be like this.
SoCal Ogre Moot.
Great Con General, Death Cheater, Kakadai's Legacy, Ogre Crossbow, Dragon Staff, Rotten Jaw, a Mammoth Hunter with Wrestler's Belt, Super Dex, Hunting Spear, Vanguard, Spine Splitter, a Con BSB with not the regular build. So this is Essence of Mithril, Shield Breaker on paired weapons, Lucky Charm Cult Leader, a Shaman Adept on Pyromancy with Talisman of the Void, Firebrand, 2x8 Tribesmen with Iron Fists, interesting, 3 Bruiser Stick, 4 Tusker Cav, this is your 4 block that you like, with Stalker Standard, 6 Yetis, a Frost Mammoth, which is just a great model, and a Slave Giant with a Giant Club.
Combine Frost Mammoth with Yetis, and it's thematically appropriate.
It is. I always like the fluffy lists, and the Ogre Con ice list, if that's the best way of putting it, with the Frost Mammoth and Yetis is always fun. But anyway, yeah, Frost Mammoth.
Have you had the courage to take it yet? Not Yeti.
Jesus. Oh Jesus.
I like the con build too. The BSB, paired weapons with Shield Breaker at that level of strength, and a crossbow, and just that's for 390. I like that. That belongs in there.
Yeah, he's really basically got no shooting except for a Pyro Wizard.
Yeah, he's got a Pyro Adept. That's it, right?
I mean, what are
a lot of faith into those tribesmen though? Like, that's they're Merc Vets, are they though? They're tribesmen. Like,
what are those 6 Yetis doing? Because they Vanguard
getting in the way, and they're light troops.
Vanguard light troops. So they can kind of, do what the Mammoth Hunter's doing also, and kind of sneak into positions on people's flanks. I mean, that can be annoying.
The Mammoth Hunter's brutal. That thing is cheap at the price as well.
Yeah, Mammoth Hunters are great. They're such a pain in the butt, but they're great. Okay, let's see what Cary's bringing. Cary usually plays Warriors, and he is bringing some KOE. So this is fun. It's a little different. Equitanian Lord. what's the animal that this general is riding? Can you pronounce that for me, please?
Just roll.
Just roll. The Equitanian Lord General on a Desral, with touch of greatness on a bastard sword, Death Cheater, Sainted Justice. Another Lord on a Desral, shield, BSB, bastard sword, prayer etched. Damsel on a unicorn, master on druidism with a crystal ball and sacred chalice. A folk hero on a Desral, great weapon, essence of Mistral, cleric. And then he's got 2 blocks of feral knights, both with knight banneret.
Feudal knights.
Did I say feudal? What did I say? Feudal?
You said feral.
Feral knights.
Feral knights. You know, they got tattoos. It's nice.
11 Ordo sergeants. These are the guys that heal themselves with great weapons. 14 archers, or I'm sorry, crossbowmen. 10 knights of the quest with knight banneret. Stalker standard. Some outriders. 2 scorpions and 2, count it, 2 friars lanterns.
The 2 friars lanterns, when used properly, are devastating. They just make it so that you don't do something that you want to do.
It's the classic double flee, and then put a unit behind the friars
double
lanterns.
R, double E, double S.
Yeah.
And then that unit is not a unit for this round. I love that it's glory of just roll state gaming.
Destroy.
We're trying to put this. Cary's an amazing painter, and he is assembling this army kind of as quickly as he's able. So I'm very curious to see what it actually looks like in its final edition when it takes the field. I think he's planning on having it like done by the zoo, but this is its inaugural foray into the field. And he had a few of us each put together like one guy. So you have Sir Grigsby and, you know, Sir Pierce and Sir Gurin, and it's kind of fun.
I just want to know why.
I think
this is a segue, but why isn't the guy who lives in the halls of justice taking justice on one of his models?
Say that again, louder.
Why isn't the guy who lives in the halls of justice taking justice on one of his models? That should be a requirement, I would think, because the man lives in the halls of justice. I would be speaking of Lou as well.
Either it's a funny joke or a great point. I can't make out which.
True.
Also, Superman
you not hear me at all?
Had a day off, but
yeah.
Can you not hear me at all?
The Super Friends are having problems. Like,
we can hear you.
All right.
So, who's gonna win this matchup?
Is the justice redundant for the Equitane Lord? Does that not do anything? Like, is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking that Lou lives in a place called the Halls of Justice, and Lou doesn't have justice on one of his characters.
Ah.
Meta. Sorry, Josh.
I've never met a joke I didn't like.
All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 knight units, and it's a couple scorpions and a couple pieces of chaff, 3 pieces of chaff causing problems. Is it enough to take on this ogre army that's coming straight for you?
I think the fire lanterns bother Johnny a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the frost mammoth is a problem for Cary.
He's got 2
Once you get
scorpions,
charging knights that no longer have the agility to strike first.
Yeah, but he's got 2 scorpions. The scorpions are going to shoot at every shot they have.
Yes, that would be my first target.
I think I'm voting for Cary here. I think you're right. I think the chaff isn't super annoying. The scorpions have pretty bountiful target. There's a target-rich environment. And then his knights, he just got to zone. He's got to zone the best he can. And then when he can't zone no more, he goes in for a double, triple charge.
It's almost like an auto zone. I think the 4 Tuskers are going to be interesting, and how they match up against what they match up. Like, I don't know that they necessarily have great targets, but if they're used well, I think it could matter. And I'm very curious to see what the Yetis do. Like, again, when you have the Frost Mammoth and the Yetis, like, agility becomes a thing. But I think Cary has enough effective chaff that if he's cognizant of the whole field, he can take it down. So I am going to give it to Cary.
If I were Johnny, I would be sending the Yetis and the Giant and the Mammoth Hunter around to get rid of the chaff and the Scorpions. To make Cary shoot at those things rather than the Frost Mammoth. So I think this really depends a lot on how do we do our first couple turns of shooting. If he does well and he starts getting some wounds off of that Frost Mammoth, then that's going to be problematic for Johnny. But if it's not if he's not, and he has those things getting taken out before they have much impact, then I think you got to go to Johnny as far as having a good chance at it. So I think that Cary will probably carry the day because I think he has a little bit of an edge in a couple areas. So I'll go to Cary.
All right, that's 3 votes.
I think
for
everything
Cary.
goes into that Frost Mammoth. Yeah, I think everything, not just the Scorpions, but if you can pull Master of Earth or whatever the shooting spell is from Druidism, everything goes into that Frost Mammoth. And it's not so much the stuff you listed that I'm worried about. It's the Mammoth Hunter that gets around the flank. That's what I'd be concerned about, because he gets into the charge.
I said him.
Oh, you said him?
I said him. Yeah.
So I should not doubt Chris's greatness.
All right, that is all of our pairings. Before we move on, the real question is who's going to win the tournament. Gentlemen, you cannot vote for yourself. Give me a vote of who you think is going to win. That's not yourself.
Derek Weswell.
Yeah, Derek's got a good list. I'm not going to lie. He's got a good list.
It's the same list he won March to War with.
Yeah, true.
Gurin.
I mean, do I pick a submariner to win it all? Like,
That's the...
Is Ben gonna lose round 1 and then come back to take the whole thing down? That's a really good question. I am not sure exactly.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
Okay, while you're thinking about it, I've got a dark horse that I think is going to win this whole thing. I have a lot of confidence in this player. I have a lot of confidence in this list, in this field. And that is Mr. Rick Levin on Infernal Dwarves is going to take the whole thing. Mark my words. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks.
Will you wear the shirt again if he doesn't?
No, that shirt bet is between you and me. Don't try to do that.
I think we should upgrade the shirt to a tutu. They're easier to get on and off, let's be honest.
I mean, the shirt's already pretty tutu-like, being that it's bright pink.
I gotta get a shirt made that I gotta make you gotta wear. The problem is I don't know when we're gonna do a tournament together next. But we'll figure it out, don't you worry. The shirt bet will never die.
I'm gonna put in a sleeper vote for Daniel Knox.
Daniel Knox on the
my round
highballs.
1 opponent, my partner for Portland. I think in the event that he can take me down, he's just gonna march straight into glory.
All right.
Who are your other? I'm gonna hear from Josh. Who are your other top 2? Like, who would be first, second, third?
I think Derek's in the top 3 for sure.
Okay.
And honestly, even though they're tight matches, I think if Darrell plays his cards right, he could do some real damage. Rick is no slouch. Like, Rick will mess you up if you look sideways twice. Yeah, it's anybody's game. And I can't vote for myself.
Pretty balanced, I agree.
No, this is gonna be a fun tournament. I am jealous that I'm not there, but you guys have a great time.
Other tournament in the world.
What?
Chris and I are going to end up in a mirror match in round 3.
It's like, can you fly to every other tournament? Why aren't you flying out to this one?
My family is expanding. My wife is pregnant, and it is time for me to be here for the wife for a while. So I'm putting tournaments aside for probably at least a year, probably
6 months.
You're coming out to run in ATC?
I am not going to be at ATC. It is still my tournament, but Jeff Durham has graciously provided his services for this year.
Like Jeff knows anything about Warhammer. Come on.
Well, congrats on your family expanding. I wish you the best.
Thank you. Josh, make sure to record our choices to win the whole thing. Also, perfect. And send me all the info when you have it in an organized fashion.
Did we put anything on this, by the way? I don't recall making any kind of a substantive wager as to who predicted most accurately.
The last list review where we actually looked at the results of our guesses, the bet was a case of beer. So.
Oh yeah.
What is our bet going to amount to?
I think the two losers can buy the winner a case of their chosen beverage.
No. It's just the loser buys the winner, and the middle spot doesn't have to do anything.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
did I vote on all of them?
All right. Yeah.
Did I vote on all of them, Josh? Okay.
You probably voted best, actually. if I were a betting man, you might have the top spot. So what's your fave kind of beverage there?
I'm still a soda guy, but I get on Friday. We finally gonna play a poker game?
Yeah, why not?
Are you guys still staying in that hotel that's just down the street from the venue? That's like a really shady ass hotel.
The Travel Lodge, where you can buy human beings or illicit substances. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not staying at the lodge this time. I'm staying at a different shady environment, a few blocks further down.
The poker game will be at the lodge.
Okay. I'll come into the lodge for poker game. Yeah. Send me details.
Roger that.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you two for joining me as always, and I will have a quick response results to our guesses video after the round 1, and I'll pop that up online this weekend. So have fun out there, guys.
I like it.
Have fun out there, and do me proud.
Plays to win.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe, all that dumb YouTube stuff, and we will see you in the next video.